State recognized presence of the jury.
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense recognized presence of the jury. All right, welcome back, folks. State, you may call your next witness.
State call Shawn Williams.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Have a seat, sir. State, you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Shawn Williams. I am the forensic video analyst for the Orlando Police Department.
How long have you been doing that job?
I've been doing the job for about 10 years.
And can you describe for the jury your training and experience that allows you to do that work?
I have an associate's degree in video production, a bachelor's degree in film production, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
What do you do on
education-wise?
I'm sorry?
No, I just said education-wise. That's it.
What do you do on a day-to-day basis in that job?
So on a day-to-day basis, in a nutshell, my job is to manage, retrieve video in conjunction with criminal investigations.
Let me direct your attention back to the early morning hours of January 9th of 2017. Did you go to Walmart located off of Princeton to help recover some surveillance at the Walmart?
Yes, I did.
After you did that, at some point later on that morning or maybe even early afternoon, did you go to a separate location near the Royal Oaks subdivision to retrieve additional video?
Yes, I did.
Terry. May I approach?
Yes.
Showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit I for identification. Do you recognize the area that this map depicts?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Generally, where is that area?
That is Sonoma Apartment Village, I think it's called.
You said
Sonoma
you went to a location in this general area to retrieve some video?
Yes, I did.
Is the location that you went to get this video depicted on this image somehow?
Yes.
How?
I remember a cul-de-sac, so it's in this area.
Okay. Does the green push pin indicate the general location of where you retrieved the video from?
Yes.
Did you go to that location? Was it an apartment complex or a house, or what was it?
It was an apartment complex.
Did you go there alone or with any other officers?
I went there with a detective from our criminal investigations division.
When you arrived, did you make contact with the owner of the apartment complex, Peter Patrick?
Yes, I did.
Why'd you go there?
It was my understanding that we needed to retrieve video in reference to a carjacking that was related to the murder of Sergeant Clayton.
When you arrived at that apartment, did the apartment owner, Peter Patrick, give you access to his surveillance system?
Yes, he did.
Describe for the jury the system, just generally.
It's just basically a surveillance DVR. It was connected to a monitor and it had a mouse connected to it. Very simple, basic DVR system.
Were you able to locate any footage from his surveillance system from earlier that morning?
Yes.
Okay, was any of that footage relevant to this investigation?
Yes.
How did you go about physically locating the footage?
But that, I don't recall. I remember we watched the video a couple of times and we saw the car go behind the building where Mr. Patrick lived. So that's how we located the footage.
And once that footage was located, did you download that footage in some way?
Yes, I did.
How?
So I plugged in a USB drive into the USB port on the DVR, went to the export menu, and I exported the time frame, basically.
Was Mr. Patrick's surveillance system, was it password protected at all?
That I don't recall,
Okay.
if it was.
But did he give you access to do whatever you needed to do to locate and download the footage?
Yes, he did.
Did you have any indication that the surveillance system was not operating properly?
No, I didn't. It didn't appear to be tampered with at all. It appeared to be operating properly.
Okay. Did you notice where the cameras were located in his apartment?
Yes,
Okay, were they consistent with the surveillance footage that you saw?
yes.
Did you examine the timestamp on his surveillance footage to see if it was accurate?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and was it?
No, it wasn't.
To explain to the jury how you went about determining that the timestamp on Mr. Patrick's surveillance system was inaccurate.
So the way that I did that is I went to the live view of the DVR that it should show the current date and time. It was off. The time was off. The date was correct. So I had to call the Naval Observatory Master Clock, and it just gives you an automated message telling you what the accurate time is. And that's how I determined that there was a difference in time.
And what was the difference between the timestamp on the video and the actual time?
It was about 29 minutes ahead of real time.
May I approach?
You may.
Showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit N for identification. Do you recognize that CD?
Yes.
How do you recognize it?
This is the video from the Sonoma Village. I saw this previously, initialed it.
Okay. Does that fairly inaccurately depict the video that you recovered from Mr. Patrick's apartment complex showing the vehicle you described earlier?
Yes, it does.
This time, State would move N into evidence as State's 12, I believe.
Any objection? All right, this will be received without objection as State's Exhibit number 12.
Do you remember from how many different cameras that surveillance is made up of?
There were 2 cameras that were relevant to the investigation.
Okay. Thank you, sir. No other questions, Your Honor.
Cross? All right, may this witness be excused. State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense? All right, you're excused for now, but you remain under subpoena and are subject to recall. But
Okay.
you're free to go today.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the last witness for today. We're going to send you back to the hotel, where hopefully you'll have a nice, relaxing evening. And we will see you tomorrow morning at 9:30 to resume the trial. Leave your notepads here. Have a good evening, folks. Any issues, let the deputies know. They're working on all the issues we talked about, all right? And they'll be talking to you about it today. Thanks. Anything further, State? No, Your Honor. Defense? No. All right, have a good evening, everyone. Court's in recess until tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.